Welcome to our Inventor series. Today we're going to introduce you to the interface. It is just barely starting up on our computer screen, as you can see, and we want to walk you through a few of the features and how you start. Now, this is where we begin our project. We have our browser window over here, which will be useful as we begin different drawings, projects, models, etc. Our pieces up here at the top, this is our ribbon bar. It's very handy. This is our drawing area out here to the right and fills most of our screen. Now, first thing I do is this system is going to try to default to a gray background. I like to change my background to a blue for clarity's sake. It helps me out. If you want to change it, you can go in here and change it in these. I simply will go with our blue, one color, and leave it there. Now to start, let's show you our ribbon bar. Once we pop it up, we click on our ribbon bar on New. It gives us our different options to choose from. I'm going to just click on a standard IPT, which is a part. Now if you look at it, we have sheet metal, parts, standard drawing, which is this is an AutoCAD drawing. We have a standard assembly drawing, a standard drawing file, an IPN, which we'll worry about later, and a weldment, which we'll worry about later. But right now we're just going to start with a standard IPT. Okay, once it opens up, you'll see our drawing space has a grid located on it. The grid is roughly blocked out to a ½ inch. We have our UCS, just like we're used to in like AutoCAD and other programs down there. If we push our mouse wheel down and drag, we can pan. If you look at our cursors, we can roll the mouse wheel forward and it pans out. We roll it backwards towards us and it zooms in. Each of these blocks you can see here are 1-inch increments because of our standard IPT. Our ribbon bar has changed to a sketch menu, which then will change to a model menu as needed. For this, we're just going to make a couple of shapes on here to show you how we work. So I'm going to start with a simple circle. The circle simply asks us for a center and a radius. So I'm going to simply click on that circle tool. Now I'm going to pan so our origin is located in the middle of our drawing space. I'm going to drag out a circle, just click, create it. Okay. Now, we don't know how big the circle is for sure. We kind of eyeballed it. I'm going to use a dimension to constrain it to control its size. Now this is a simple size dimension. We're going to make this exactly 3 inches in diameter. Now if I want to do a concentric circle, I can use the circle tool again. Using the same center point, I can drag it out and place it. Now again, using a sizing tool, sizing dimension, I can control this one to have it exactly 2 inches in size. That's as simple as this interface is. Now, again, like I said, our interface up here changes. Once I've done all the sketches I want, I can use our navigator bar over here to rotate around and look at things, but for right now it's all two-dimensional until I put some features on it and model it. So I'm going to finish this sketch and I'm going to model it a little bit so you can see what happens here. Notice our navigator bar tilts to what is effectively an isometric view with the front, the top, and the right side. I'm going to use an extrude command right now to extrude this profile I've now highlighted in pink to a given dimension. Now, we have our floating palette here. We have our traditional pop-up menu here. I actually don't need the pop-up menu, and most people don't. We can control almost everything we need from the floating palette, but we're going to use the pop-up for this purpose right now. I'm simply going to make this thing a 2-inch pipe that has a roughly 1-inch diameter wall, or 1-inch thick wall, and go, okay, there he is. Now, simple enough? No problem there. We can apply certain features to this right now if we want to, like chamfers and fillets and threads and things. But for right now, I simply want to show you how to create another sketch on a given plane. So I can actually pick on the sketch and click on this plane right here. That'll let us draw flat on that surface. If I need to go to another plane, I can rotate my part around and pick that surface if I so choose. If my plane is not one I can see, I can actually go into my origin over here on my browser bar and pick the XY plane or the XZ plane or the YZ plane, whichever plane I so choose. In this case, I'm going to pick the YZ plane and I'm going to turn it flat. Now, what does this do for us? It allows us to do things like if I want to cut or make a shape right there that comes through this, I can sketch it in. I can say, okay, I want to know that it's exactly ½ an inch from the top and ½ an inch from the bottom of this part right here. By controlling that, those are location dimensions, a ½ inch from top, ½ inch from bottom. I did not control the size. The size is dictated. Now if I want to, I can actually control the size here as well. It's trying to do as an angle, so I'm just going to leave that be for right now. Once I'm done with this sketch, I can go right here and pick close the sketch. Again, I can use my extrude feature. This will add material to it. Now, if I want to go the opposite direction, I simply click this, which is direction number 2. Direction 1, direction 2. If I want to go both directions, I can use the both direction tools. Or asymmetric, I can use the asymmetric tool, which means it goes more in one and less in the other. In this case, I want it to be symmetrical, and I want to extend it beyond the part. But I also want to use it as a cut. So it's actually going to remove materials in this process. So what I've done is I've now made a flat, plain surface through the side of this part. Quite simple, quite easy. That's the big thing we want to get from this. How to navigate and use this part. That's all.